Alright, so I'm currently trying to platinum every single type of EA game that there is out there, and if I can't do it before the channel hits 1 million subscribers, then my punishment is I have to platinum Fortnite, one of the longest, hardest, and most grindy games of all time. So make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Anyways, today I chose to platinum a game within the Madden series. If you don't know what Madden is, it's basically the American football sports game about the NFL, and if you are an American, which is the majority of my audience, then you obviously know what I'm talking about. But if not, just Google search it. What do I look like, Siri? But there's a lot of Madden games in the franchise, over 20 of them I think, which is insanity to be honest. And over the years, EA has both pulled the plug on their servers, taken them from the store, and tried to bury the old ones as newer versions and variants release so they can capitalize on more sales, as you do. Business is business, says EA Sports Director Kim Weber, who sort of looks like he has a football of his own in that goofy ass head shape.
That's what I'm saying.
But anyways, today's game was Madden 22, one of the more recently banished Madden games to the Shadow Realm that you cannot find at all on the PS5 store or any online game store as far as I know. But for some reason, older Maddens you can. I'm just shocked sometimes by EA's business tactics. They truly are the most confusing fucking company to ever grace this world. However, getting your hands on a copy of Madden 22, the banned football game, is actually quite easy, or at least I thought it would be. First, I ordered it on Amazon because it's the easiest and fastest shipping service in the world, as everybody knows. But they fucking sent me the new Madden game and not the one I ordered, so I lost even more money on video games than I already have in my life. What's $60 more, am I right? Also, if you guys have seen my Minecraft story mode video saga, then you would know that this exact same thing happened, where the shady but real looking game on Amazon is marketed as something else, then comes as a completely different game. Seeing this, I wasn't even upset, just sad inside. So I then went to GameStop's website and I ordered Madden 22 on that to see if they would come in clutch. I also got it for like $3, which is probably more insane than it not being available to buy still normally. But they also emailed me and said my order was like canceled or not able to be processed. However, it did, so they were just lying out of their ass, I suppose. But once I did throw in Madden 22 and saw that it was fully functional, I strapped in for the platinum. It only has 20 trophies including the platinum trophy. There isn't a single guide on PSN profile, so I was forced to follow some other websites and achievement guides, which aren't nearly as nice in the eyes. Don't we just love pop-up ads, am I right, guys? But in today's video, you all see as I fall into insanity with how buggy, glitched, and ridiculously stupid this game's trophies are.
Know your fucking place, trash.
Stage 1 is to complete every trophy you can inside of the Play Now mode, which is the offline version of Madden where you can just play the game however you want. This is also the mode that is commonly used when playing split screen with your friends or dad if you have one of those. Must be nice, you motherfucker. Anyways, this game's trophy list actually follows pretty closely to the college football list I did a few videos ago. And to be honest, almost all of the Madden or college football games have pretty similar trophy list in them, which is nice to know for the future. But the first trophy I chased down was sort of a mixture of a few. I for some reason had this belief that I could just load up a Madden game and know all of the controls immediately to do these trophies, and I was wrong. Very, very wrong. This is also the first Madden game I've ever played, so even with my knowledge of how College Football 25 works, it didn't really help all that much. I was attempting to get a trophy from using a celebration for 50 yards in a game called Primetime, but I was also mistaken in thinking that the yardage counted when you just did the move once and then ran with the ball, which is wrong, and you need to literally use the move as you run for 50 yards while celebrating. But anyways, yeah, the first round or so was a complete waste of time, so to make myself feel better inside, I backed out like your father should have in the bedroom and made my way to a different Play Now mode because I kind of butchered that first one. But this time, after failing for an entire round, at the end I let the game finish out because you can take the team you just played as to a league and continue their series of unfortunate events into bankruptcy. But also, it's a trophy called Already in Progress, like my manifest. I then saw that I had 800 friend requests and it made my brain have an aneurysm, so I got off for the day and restarted this torture on the following sunrise. I would also incorporate a 2-controller method for some of these Play Now trophies because they are considerably easier to get when the AI isn't totally and 100% trying to fuck you in the ass. However, at first when I was using 2 controllers, I was still getting Bonnie Blued, as I like to call it. That's a new slang term I just came up with for when men are all over you. But I was going for a trophy called Saw It Coming, which is from, and I quote, using a tendency counter and causing a turnover. Now, a tendency in this game is a little option you pick before it starts or at half, deciding whether to focus on run game or pass game and run defense or pass defense. It varies in length as well for that matter, and trying to do this against AI, you have to get very lucky because the damn robot could select any of those, and there's about 10 or so, I think. But with the second controller I have, I just picked the same ones for both players. Then once I finally managed to get an interception while passing on my alt account, the trophy popped for correctly using a tendency counter. And then I did begin to hunt down the trophy called Primetime, which was that gain over 50 yards with celebrations I mentioned earlier. And with using 2 controllers, this is actually super easy. It took me a few tries to get it down, but as you were celebrating, you can just have one other joystick run away from yourself. Also making sure to swap players so the new AI doesn't shove their meat into us as we celebrate celebrate so gracefully, looking like a fresh tart out of the mental institution. Once doing it perfectly, I got the trophy pop and moved on faster than she did. What is happening right now? Someone turned on old Its Ilusion jokes today. Holy shit. But the next trophy I got was called Throwing Dots from throwing a passing touchdown but with a low throw mechanic, which is a very dumb mechanic to be honest, and the situations you use it in are very minimal. However, getting a passing touchdown this way isn't really too bad to be honest. It is kind of annoying considering the AI is still prevalent and using 2 controllers does help, but it doesn't make it foolproof. My method I cooked up like the dinner I just made, a bagel. What the is this creation? My rectum can't wait to squirt it out later. Anyways, the play I was running was called a clear out, and that's called this because it kind of has receivers going all over the place in the zone. I also did make my second controller defender leave the receiver I was targeting to assist me in throwing a low ball with success, and it did take a few attempts, but I managed to do it, getting a trophy and officially passing a low ball training camp. My balls were also getting lower, and I'm afraid aging is a bitch. But the next trophy I did in this play now portion was called Under Control from performing a juke and spin then scoring, and boy oh boy was this one just so much fun. Also, as I watched video guides on how to do these, seeing people complain in the comments about how they didn't work even when they got them really filled me up with that hot white liquid called doubt. I doubt that statement. But I actually found a really good way to do this. Just have one player run a punt block or a goal line play, then the other throw a Hail Mary, have the defender that might be on him run in the opposite direction as usual when trying to avoid contact, and then just absolutely spam the out of jukes and spins. I also managed to get this on my alt account first as I was practicing with it to make sure I had the moves down because, as I already said, I don't know how you play this game. But then back on my main account I did also manage to get the trophy thankfully, and here it is. Not so hard after all. Haha. That's what she said. But the following trophy is by far the most annoying and time-consuming trophy of the Play Now stage that took me over an hour and a half to achieve. It was called Momentum Stealer, done by accomplishing the biggest momentum swing possible in a game. A momentum swing, you might be asking, is this little bar at the top of the screen. Momentum builds either way depending on the flow of the game, and you have to basically let or make the opposing team have full momentum. Then you need to literally get a pick 6 from your own end zone, take it back over 100 yards, and then pray to fucking Jesus Christ above that he gives you enough swinging action to get the trophy. And I said this took me forever because I did exactly what was said that needs to be done numerous times and it just wouldn't give me the trophy. I followed the exact method, got the opposing team to max momentum, threw a perfect pick, ran it back, and it swung very far, but apparently not far enough to trickle the trophy down the tree. And after a lot of trial and error, I decided to just climb out of my window. No, I'm just kidding. I found yet again another video guide, and the dude said to throw the game on light snow with 2 specific teams, and for some fucking reason, it actually did work when I did the exact same thing I just did, so that makes sense. EA, I want my $3 back, please. This game is horrid. Anyways, I then just had 2 more trophies to get in the stage, both of which were from doing specific actions with certain players, and funnily enough, both defensive players as well, which is just swell. The first one was called Unblockable from causing a sack or tackle for loss after a pass rush move 3 different times with a different move every time. Now this sounds kind of weird or hard, but putting both teams on rookie difficulty and using the Rams playing as Aaron Donald, who was one of the best pass rushers ever, you can kind of just do the moves, and I had almost no trouble getting this done. It did take a few changes of possession to achieve 3 different ones because I was unsure of what moves I did after failing here and there, but overall it's really not that bad. And it f***ing works popping like it should, so W this trophy and L every other trophy in this godforsaken game. Keep it banned, just please keep it in the shadows. The last trophy in this stage was then called Lockdown Corner from winning 3 presses in a single game with the same cornerback. Now even after getting this trophy, I still couldn't really say what counts for the trophy. I had no clue how to do a press to begin with, so I did numerous tutorial runs to even figure out what the f*** a press is. But in conclusion, damn, this sounds like my shitty English essays that got me a solid 92% in high school.
Adrian.
In conclusion, a press in Madden 22 is achieved when holding down the left joystick and X at the same time, then directing the receiver in any direction besides straight up or backwards. However, the game does not track this all that well, and I would suggest playing out the play, having your QB on the second controller, throwing a bad ball your way so you can also pick it off and really put salt in the wound. Eventually, I got 3. Definitely did more than 3. That was 100% for sure, but hey, we got it, so whatever, dude. I deeply hate this game. Have I mentioned that yet?
Adrian.
Alright, moving on. We are now in stage 2, the solo franchise mode. Who doesn't love solo trophies in football franchise modes? Am I right? I want this engraved as a reason for my untimely death. But basically, all the trophies in this mode suck. There's a few that I got right away which weren't too bad because they actually worked for once. And I actually got the first one on accident called Dealmaker, which was from resigning a 90 overall player, and I did that because I was going for a trophy called Big Spender, which was from bidding on a new 90 overall player and getting them. So I just got mistaken, but here's the trophy anyways. And then I did get Big Spender because turns turns out if you give an $18 million expected contract player $60 million, they will sign with you before they even piss their pants, and here's that trophy. I then just started simming games to get some trophies from players winning MVP and Rookie of the Year, getting both kind of at random, which I didn't expect to, so no advice on those trophies. Good luck to anyone trying this in 2025. If you do, don't. Just don't. But the next two trophies I got were both related, and I sort of scuffed them up, so it's more my fault than the game's fault. However, the first one was called Stud Finder. Shout out to LEGO Games. But Stud Finder was from drafting a rookie with a hidden dev trait, and you can actually do that super easily by just scouting a player in late round 1 or 2 of the draft, give them a hidden trait in the player setting, then just hope nobody grabs him first, and if they didn't scoop him up, then the trophy is yours. Now, the next trophy, called Future of the Franchise, which is from revealing a player's trait that we just drafted for, is kind of odd. The guide says to play out the season to unlock its goal, which for me was 500 downs, and I did, but the trophy didn't pop. So instead, I did his other method from loading up the Falcon season and simming to mid-season, then looking at Kyle Pitts in the card menu, and it popped the trophy. I am confusion. It's confusion, you could say.
Shut the fuck.
But the next trophy, called Pro Bowler, from just playing the Pro Bowl, is probably the most simple trophy of the game. Literally just simulate a season to the Pro Bowl and play it. I actually don't think you need to even play a single down, just being there works. But I did play it down because I was afraid. However, the trophy popped once it finished, that's cool. I then just did complete a fantasy draft, which is another part of the franchise where you pick players, and all you have to do for the trophy though is grab one dude, then simulate the rest of the draft, and it should pop no problem. So I was then on to stage 3, which is the final one. I did bring over a trophy from stage 2 called Change the Scenery because it didn't work for me no matter how many times I tried to do it. But this stage was called the Online League and Platinum Stage. 2 trophies required but don't technically need real players to get, however that would make them much easier. But the trophy called Change the Scenery, as I just said, isn't an online trophy, just from relocating a team in a franchise league. And these 3 trophies for whatever mystical, random chance, horrible luck, sinful influence just would not pop for me no matter how many times I tried them. Did them the exact way, exact method, it did not fucking matter. I relocated my damn team in the franchise league about 6 times and just nothing, which is pretty fucking self-explanatory. The damn trophy description only has 3 words and one is a single letter, for fuck's sake. It can't get any more simple. But the other 2, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I tried to boost them with real people, couldn't find my boosting partner to save my life. They couldn't see me in the game, no clue why not. I did every single offline alt account boosting method I could possibly do for both trophies, still just nothing worked. Eventually, I even asked my Instagram if anyone knew of what sin had behold me, and I have to say it, you guys aren't much help. I didn't need these words of encouragement as I was already losing it. But all of this piled up to me just deleting Madden 22, and I want to say thanks for watching. Yourself. Nope, I'm just kidding, but imagine. But yeah, I deleted Madden 22, then re-downloaded it, and shout out to my Wi-Fi for taking 40 minutes to download a game that is already on a disc. What kind of world do we live in now where AI is allegedly taking over, but I can't just put a disc in my gaming system and play it? I don't understand anymore. And yeah, upon reloading my game with a fresh install, I actually got the head-to-head trophy upon just entering a franchise league I already had going, which if anything proves I wasn't going crazy, and the trophies just were bugged, so that's dope. But I entered this to get one of my boys from Discord who said he could help. Huge shout out to bro, by the way. Once we both got into the same league, I also had it on the Super Bowl, so we played it out. He let me win, obviously, because that's another trophy I need, and the last online one. Again, huge thank you and shout out, but here's the trophy because after I won, it did fucking work like I should have for the last 4 hours of playing this dog-ass trash fire game. I hate Madden with everything in my soul. So the last trophy I needed was still that change of scenery bullshit, and guess what? Yeah, I did the same thing I did 7 times with no success, and the trophy popped finally. This just doesn't make any sense, but there's the damn platinum. I hope you're happy. So that was the Madden 22 Platinum Trophy experience. I don't think I'm gonna see 30 with the rate that EA games are making my mental health deteriorate, but hey, 1 million is almost here, and so are my stomach ulcers.